Hi everybody, welcome. I hope everyone has been having an awesome week. I have felt there was tough energy that continued and like irritable energy too. And it could just be, because of where I live. But it's been irritating energy and I feel like a lot of people have noticed that. So we're going to see how we're going to make out because the full moon is upon us. If you're listening to this over the weekend, the full moon is this Monday. And I felt like it was already energized. It wasn't quite all the way full if you looked up into the sky at night, and I could see like I know some of my friends told me they see it all the time, but like the face in the moon, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't know what this says about me as a witch, but I felt like this time I actually saw like a face in the moon. I saw like fairies all around, and I felt it was enchanted, charged up energy, and I liked it. So, and then I would love to update you on a book and get your opinion. So we're going to pull now from a new deck that my aunt kindly gifted me, which is this Angels of Nature Oracle, which I think is a new release by Sandra Ann Taylor, and I do like her decks. It has a cool animal with an angel, so it's good stuff. So we're going to pull some of these and some tarot, and we'll finish off with an affirmation from our guides. I hear in my head that we're going to need to be patient, so we'll see what comes up. But this is a time for us to be less reactive and to be more patient with one another. So we'll see. First card that has come up for us is the Angel of Dove. That's what it looks like. Angel of Dove. Inner peace, spiritual pursuits, and releasing conflict. Well, that makes sense because, like I said, I just heard them say we need to have more patience. Let's pull a couple tarot cards for each card that we got and get an expanded message on these and see what they want to say. Okay. I think that there's going to be people communicating messages to you. We got the Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Wands for this one. And of course, right, and like we're upon a retrograde period too, so there's all kinds of stuff happening. And I know some people feel like the energy of that more than other people. But I think for a lot of us in the collective, people may be coming to us with great ideas, offerings, things like this. And we have to think about if those things, those offerings, are things that feel like they are aligned to us and where we're moving to, like spiritually or not. And I think because it's going to feel like tempting and like an old pattern, like, oh, this is a great idea. But like there's already a part of you because you've grown a bit where it's like, oh, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's going to fatigue me, or I don't know if that's going to be something that makes me feel more peaceful. So think about messages coming your way, whether or not you need to react to them. As I'm talking, like I hear the guide say, you don't, emphatically. So you don't need to respond to everything. And think about how you can think about whether or not what the message you're communicating is going to result in more peace for you. Because if it doesn't, then they're saying reflect on that. Like, is it something that you really need to engage with? Okay? And trust me, I know how it is. Especially living here in New Jersey, people driving every day, they can try it, right? If you know, you know. And if you think it's great, you're that person who's doing what you shouldn't be on the parkway. Next one for expanded messages on that peace card are Seven of Swords and the Queen of Wands. Okay, so those are our messages for that. And then what is it telling us here? You have done a lot of work. You have a lot of growth, a lot of maturity within you. And it's really, it's helped you manifest some of the things that are going to be coming your way, right? That being said, you're still going to have a lot of like inner dialogue, inner turmoil. I hear like imposter syndrome, right? So it's like not all rainbows and butterflies. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. That's what it is. Okay. So there's still some work to be done with that. Overall message for this one, your inner peace is really important to you, and consider whether or not things are bringing you closer to that or moving you further away from that. Okay. It's a good message on that one. Now our next one is, oh no. Okay, so my aunt got me these cards. I didn't have time to look at them. She looked at them for me. And we both like the art. And she's like, I loved all the animals on there except for one. And I knew it. It's like all of us have a bad feeling about snakes in our family because of our cultural upbringing. My mom is from South Italy, and my aunt, her sister, obviously as well. And there's one card that she was like, it's the only card I didn't like in the deck. And that's the one we got here. It's the Angel of Snake. So she's listening. This one's for you, right? And keywords on this one are transition and shedding unwanted patterns. That's a great message for all of us in the collective. I think a lot of us have been feeling that transitional energy, like we're right at the precipice of something else, something that's bringing us toward not only like fulfillment, but like at a deep level, right? Like again, moving towards those goals that we have that are shaping our life how we would like it to be. Okay, so we're going to pull some tarot on that and see what our expanded message is for that. For me, that makes total sense. I hope that makes sense for you. Apply it to your life. Okay. So, yeah, really, really great stuff here. So first is we have the Strength card came up, and then 10 of Wands. This snake card, I don't read anything bad from it. It's all on point. Here, they're telling us, our guides are telling us, they know we have been carrying a heavy load, that we've had, we felt burdened at times, we felt alone, but also like knowing that we could do it, that we've had the skills that it takes to endure. And like for some of us, it's just been like maybe a constant battle, like like you feel like you're moving forward, right? And then something happens and you're like, crash, I'm back where I was before. Or for some people, that you've persevered in the past and you're like, I could do this again. I might not want to, but I've got the strength and what I need to do it again. And so letting go of those hard edges that are around you are really going to help you. How it's like you can still be soft even though those things have happened to you, even though you've had to do what you need to do to move forward and to get ahead, right? You can still allow kindness, right? And it can be in small measurements, right? It can be in small doses. I will give you an example, even though you don't want one or didn't ask for one, but I'm going to share it with you. Like, as I was telling you, the energy the last few days you've probably felt has been like, I have felt irritable. I felt like I'm not sure why people need to drive like they do. I'm not sure why people need to stop their car in the middle of the street to get out instead of like moving over. Right? So I frequently get irritated when I feel like people are not, they have no consideration for other folk. Like they're alone, right? Like they're alone. No one else is there. So I felt that. So I definitely had that in my background. I was like, oh my God, let me just be peaceful for a few days, right? And as I was out to run an errand, there was an older gal who looked like she couldn't walk towards the car that was waiting to pick her up at a store. And she just kind of looked at me, and I thought, oh, I said, can I help? Would you need help? Can I help you? And she's like, I am having a hard time getting to the car. My ride is there. I don't have my cane. I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, okay, well, if it's okay, if you feel safe, you can hold on to me and I'll walk you there. And so, yes, so you can have small random acts of kindness. This is where I'm going with this whole story, right? This sidebar I'm on. Even if you've got all that other stuff, right? Right? Does that make sense? So like, you can't just hide away from it all the time, right? Okay. I hope that makes sense. There's a little bird who's right by my window over here looking at me and like, yeah. Next cards we have on this one, very intriguing. We have the Ace of Wands and the King of Wands. So many wands are coming out, especially with the snake in transition. So what does that mean? It's telling us that we are in a period of substantial growth. Now, I know some of us have felt like I have been growing for quite some time, and I am tired of the growing, and I would like to just kind of coast. But we're not done yet. No. And again, that Strength card comes out to let us know it's okay. We got it. You know, not just with our guides letting us know we're not alone, offering support, but with our community, with our friends, with people who are out and about. Expect the best, right? I know it doesn't always, not always deliver to us that way. But expect that other people who are also trying to transform, moving forward, getting rid of those patterns that are not needed anymore. Those were survival patterns. Those you created, right? Like intentionally at some point, maybe unintentionally, to help you move forward and survive. So there's no shade on that. But you might not need them, right? And so this is a great period of transitioning and softening. Great messages so far. Hoping those make sense to you. To me, they're making complete sense. And our next one is the Angel of the Clouds. Intriguing. Hidden information in the unknown. There's been a lot of hidden information out there, right? Have you felt that too? Let me show you what the art is. The art's really pretty on this deck. I do really like it. Like I said, I had her other decks as well. And I think that she's written a few books too that someone has loaned me. I haven't read it yet, sorry. I still can't like look down at physical books as I'm recovering. So if they're not in audiobook format, it's hard for me to read them right now. But I'm bouncing back. So I'm just taking a quick perusal on some of these angel ones. So this is my first time looking at this deck. So this deck is great. Now Sandra Ann Taylor, she's been around for a hot minute. And so she has several decks. I think I have almost all of her decks, like her past life deck and whatnot. And I will say she's pretty great. Like one of her first decks that I had, you know, it wasn't super like it was not representative of other folks. Like every single photo was of it had no people of color whatsoever. It didn't have any diversity in the cards. And I emailed her. I was like, hey, I noticed your card deck doesn't have this. And I got an email back saying, thank you for your feedback. And I think it was nice because the other decks I noticed were much, much more representative of everybody, which I enjoy. And I'm thinking you do too. Otherwise, you're probably not listening to me. So, okay, Angel of the Clouds. What do we have here with the Angel of the Clouds? Hidden information on the unknown. Okay, super interesting because we have the Two of Swords and the Page of Swords. Your guides are trying to help you discern messages, okay? And I know it feels like you don't have all the information that you would like to like move forward with something. Could be a job, could be a relationship, could be a physical move, could be so many things, right? Could be a surgery for some people, I hear. So it could be a lot of different things that you're just ruling over in your mind, but you feel like I don't exactly know. And I don't feel confident. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel confident. We got the Page of Swords here too because it's a couple things. Guides want to let you know that they can help you weed through information if you specifically engage them. Specifically engage them. That's what I'm hearing. Ask them for assistance. Be specific, right? So if you're weighing in, like I weighed in on them before I had my surgery. I spent a lot of time with my guides, until I became confident in my decision, right? Of course, I'm a librarian and a Virgo, so I did my due diligence and regular legitimate research, but I wanted to ask spiritually too. And again, I could not, it's hard to make a choice on something when you feel like you don't know every single little thing. You don't know how things are going to go. And that's really where you sometimes have to take the leap of faith, but also ask for specific help, which is what I did. I sat down, I was like, please give me guidance, please tell me what my outcomes could be if I do this thing, right? So you can do the same thing, right? And your guides will be there to help you. You have to slow down to listen for the message though, because sometimes we put a lot of things out, but then we don't allow time, and time's hard, right? Because our time is like distracted, we have a million commitments, all these kinds of things. I know how it runs, but we have to have time to listen for the message. So that could be in meditation, or it could just be in any quiet moments, right? So it doesn't have to be so formal. Like I frequently, get up early with my dogs, and I just like sit outside and listen to birds. I know, but I feel like I hear messages that way. So it could be something different for you, but think about that. But so the downloads and the information that you're needing is coming. Okay, and I think you've already heard it. I know some have told me they've been having like strange vivid dreams, like or feeling like they're even maybe jumping timelines, or like just like some strangeness, right? You might see some of that too. Now, our final card on this one is the King of Pentacles, letting us know that if what was holding us back was like monetary or feeling unstable or something like that, that we are the authority on that. We are good to go. That's going to come our way. Be confident, right? Know that. So don't let that be your final decision maker. Again, I know it's hard, but that's good advice from our guides. Now, we've got one more angel card, and we'll see what their final message is. So we have the Angel of Autumn, prosperity, increasing wealth, and value. What did I just say? We're concerned that we might not be able to, maybe not have enough time saved up to do XYZ. Or I was just talking to a friend the other day about we're at a certain age, like at my age, where you want to still be able to travel and like see things and have wonder and awe and joy before it's hard to walk around, right? Here's what the card looks like. But of course, what holds us back sometimes is finances, amongst other things. It's hard, like I'm a dog mom of 2. One of my dogs is reactive. It's hard to find a dog babysitter, right? There's all kinds of things. Who's going to water my yard? Okay, let's pull a few more cards. Wow. Okay, first we have 7 of Pentacles. Again, it's coming your way because you've been doing the work. You've been doing the transformative work. And there is such a connection between your work and like your work, your job, and the growth that you're doing, and alignment to monetary things and to purpose and to vision. There is a big connection. If you have felt like I'm not so sure, do know that it's coming, right? It is, and you can take a step back at a certain point. You could take a step back at a certain point. Like at a certain point, like it's just like if you garden like me. I do a lot of preparation, a lot of work. I'm growing seedlings. I got to make sure my things are watered. And then there's a certain point in the summer where, I rest and I just like enjoy the yard. And I know I'm just going to let it, I'm just going to let my tomatoes grow, my other stuff. I'm just collecting the harvest. Like, that's it. That's why I don't winter garden much. Like, I know other folks do. I don't. I need the season, and that's when I take my break. I hope that makes sense. again, when might these things happen, right? If you're like when, well, this card would suggest hopefully in the fall, which is like around the corner, actually, when you think about it. We've already had the summer solstice. We're losing light every day from now on until the fall, right? Is that a little sad? A little bit. We also have the Well card here. So, free-flowing, inspirational messages, it's really going to feel, I think like in regular tarot, this is probably just the star, this Well card. And yes, like we saw that, like the angel of the clouds, like it's just going to feel like things are floating to us. Like it's just, like information, ideas, wellness, just like in our field of vision and coming our way. And I think that last card here we got is Four of Cups. That being said, it's still an emotional time. I think for a lot of us, we are moving through some heavier emotions like grief or like fear, and breaking up the heaviness that has been on our shoulders for quite some time. Has been a heavy load. It's been a big lift, especially with like everything else that we've been seeing that's going on. And so it is going to lighten. Again, it's gonna feel like some softening, some lightening of the energy. Okay. Now we're gonna pull an affirmation card. And this is from a self-care affirmation deck because that's the one they suggested to me. And I take suggestions from my guides seriously. Okay. Okay, so they want us to pull 2 messages. Okay. And I hope you have been doing some self-care for yourself. I know that like I kind of was away from self-care, and I'm like definitely been getting back into making sure I do things like going to meditation classes, all the things that make me feel balanced. First one of our inspirations. So I'll read you the quote first. Consciously celebrating the blessings of life is part of an integrated spiritual practice. It is a form of bowing to the mystery. That's a lovely quote. And some suggestions for this one is to make a list of 5 blessings in your life, add it once a week, and each month take a few minutes to reflect on all the blessings you have. Is so great, especially when social media tries to like steal our joy by making us compare ourselves to like crap we don't want and people we don't know or care about either. Important to think about the things that we have already been gifted from the divine and what that means for us. And again, it doesn't mean that we don't see injustice, inequity. I don't mean anything like that. I mean, it means that we recognize joy, even if it's in small measurements, which is why I always talk about gardening, flowers, hummingbirds and stuff like that, because like that is a small burst of joy. I feel like it's a blessing. And even though it's something small, right? So it doesn't always have to be something huge. And again, like I just think about like I have an uncle, my mom's brother, and I remember him telling me he just was like grateful and thought it was a great thing when they came to the United States, because they have screens on the windows. I always remember he says that. My mom will tell you it's indoor plumbing in a bathroom because she had an outhouse where she was in Italy, and my uncle, because if you have ever been to Italy, there's no screens on the windows, so the bugs just come in, and here we have screens on windows. So it can be something small that brings you blessings and joy. I think about that all the time. That's like the great guidance from my parents shared with me, and maybe you have your own. If you have something, share it with me. Put it in the comments. I'd love to hear it. But I always think about that. And our second one is a reflection. And this quote is from Amelia Earhart. Interesting. Okay. The more one does and sees and feels, the more one is able to do. The more genuine may be one's appreciation of fundamental things like home and love and understanding companionship. Well, those messages connect together. And then some practices that you could take on this one are reflect on ways in which you have opened your heart to seeing, feeling, and experiencing more joy in life, like we just talked about. What ways can you open your heart that you haven't yet considered? And again, that is our overall focus and message of the reading, is to think about softening, right? Softening ourselves. So, I want to update you on a book. So I finished the Final Girl support group audiobook from Grady Hendrix. I really liked it. Again, it was the dramatic audio, and the characters were good. The actors were very good in it. I'm starting to listen to The Night Shift. I think it's by Alex Finley. I could be wrong. Sorry. So I think that if this was in print, I would like love it. But again, I can't bend my head down to do the print just now. The audio is not the best. I don't know. I'm convinced. I feel like I should know as a librarian. It sounds like AI generated audio. You can tell because like it's not like in smooth English, right? Like, has anyone else ever heard like audio AI of like anything on a podcast, Instagram, and it's just a little bit off? That's what this sounds like to me. So I don't love it. I'm going to listen to it for a little bit longer for two reasons. Because I don't have any more books available on the Hoopla app, and every single book that I want, which is a long list of books I'd like to listen to on audio from my library, has a hold that's like weeks long. So there's like nothing, I don't want to start something new before something else comes in. So my wish list is for my public library to please have more copies of audiobooks. I feel like so many of us stream and listen while we drive, or I listen sometimes while I'm gardening and stuff. So I hope everyone has a great rest of the week. If you're new here, consider hitting the subscribe button and liking this. And I hope everyone has a blessed week.